Welcome to the SparkleVerse, where everything's a little bit better than it is in real life. The reason we're here is we are going to be putting together the most magnificent contribution we possibly can to Burning Man online. So my name's Ed. I am a kind of amateur philosopher of parties and have been working with the Co-Reality Collective for a little while now in putting together some pretty cool online parties. So when the lockdown happened, one thing which was very clear in the months of social isolation that were required is that we need to be doing some parties, and therefore the party came online. 4th of April, we debuted with our first party, which was called The Zone. It was kind of a search, Tarkovsky style, for a place where your deepest desires come true. The Zone was a multi-room Zoom party. We learned a number of interesting things during this party. We learned that it was very important to have toilets at a party. We learned that mixed reality hot tubs were a thing, get everyone to get into their baths all together and pretend they're in a hot tub. It actually works rather well. And it was pretty basic, sort of 15 Zoom rooms, DJs from around the world, and a kind of spreadsheet to click through it all. Okay, pretty basic. But over the last 3 months, what we've done is we've iterated our party technique and we've iterated our tech to enable greater and better and more interesting parties. And I just want to talk you through a few of the tools we've created and a few of the experiences we've achieved to help you understand how these tools can be leveraged, we believe, to create the SparkleVerse, a kind of massively distributed, gloriously fun online Burning Man. So on the tools side, we have some pretty cool tools we've been building that allow clickable party maps with a multitude of different Zoom rooms plugged into them. Okay, pretty basic stuff. But then we added some fun. So we've added the ability to count where people are on the map, and then we added specific rooms in browser which we can plug into the map. And these rooms add a lot. And you can actually make friends at an online party. You can actually have a moment of exquisite erotic encounter. You can become disoriented and find yourself in a sort of dark corner of the party, chatting in a deeper meaningful with some random stranger. And you can connect in all the ways humans want to connect, in all the ways we deserve to connect. You know, in our philosophy, the burn has two things to understand. One of which is the immense personal odyssey going on. The second thing is, of course, the explosion of creativity in this immense space built by 70,000 people, which is the space in which you're having this odyssey. Now, let's begin with the odyssey. So the odyssey begins, you know, several months before the burn. You're like, okay, I'm going to buy this expensive ticket. You begin making your costumes, you rent an RV, you begin coordinating with your friends, and and that you can occupy a fair amount of brain space. But what that does is it amplifies commitment, it amplifies attention, and you're like, okay, when I go to this thing, I'm actually going to have a good time. Second thing is obviously the road trip to get to the burn. Okay, and this is often quite an elaborate scenario. 8 hours from San Francisco, you're 4 hours into that road trip, and you're like, I've probably done enough, driving into the desert to be enough isolated from society that we can have a good party, but no, there's another 4 hours to go. So you drive. It's kind of potentially boring, but what it does is it separates you from your normal life. Gradually, your phone signal dies, your internet connection dies, and you're just physically separated from all the responsibilities you have in your life to such an extent that basically they diminish. They diminish out of sight, out of mind, and all of your problems and all the things which clog out your brain, they can become distant and far away, resulting in an immense spaciousness in your consciousness, allowing you to respond to your environment and engage with it in a fantastic way. And that spaciousness is only increased by the ritual of entering the burn, the queuing, the tickets, the ritual of going in. You go, bong, I'm a virgin or whatever. And then you get into your camp, and then there's a ritual of creating camp. And all of this is embedding you further and further and further into this distant context, miles away from your normal life, where effectively in the course of this, you're just becoming a radically less boring person. And then there's your odyssey within the burn. The odyssey within the burn, you're up 18 hours a day, you're in these extreme temperatures of cold and heat, you're going through dust storms, you're experiencing hunger and thirst, and your embodied being in a fashion which is much more intense than is normally possible. And in a way, you're just sort of getting back to your core self, and you're deploying your immense openness on the madness which is being created for you and by you around the playa. And that's our second point. So on the one hand, we've got this odyssey, the odyssey which creates a space. Second point is we've got the playa itself, and it's created by 70,000 people. It's ephemeral, it's built just for this. Its preciousness and the sheer improbability of its existence, the fact that its existence is an act of generosity, it's an act of whimsy, it's an act of ferocious imagination and amazing commitment to the joy and consciousness of other people. All of these things the co-createdness of all this, that just rings with charisma and allows you to engage with it with even more passion and joy. And then you've got all these different scales of creativity. You've got theme camps, you've got immense imaginary spaces, you've got all of the little bars and the art cars moving around these mobile theme camps. And then you've got the people and their costumes, and you've got the gifts. And then, at a larger scale, you've got the sun coming up over the horizon. And so you're kind of encountering the world at all these different scales. And all of these scales kind of fractally interweave on your Odyssean journey in the burn, resulting in these like extravagant explosions of consciousness, which mean that it's the greatest festival, the greatest happening in the world. Arguably, it's the greatest place in the world. And that's what we have to equal or exceed in the course of designing an online burn. And so, on the SparkleVerse, a contribution to this immense online Burning Man, which is going to be created, we are looking to add as much of this structure as possible, as much of the sense of an Odyssey, and as much as possible of the explosion of multiplayer creativity that transiently erupts every year in the Nevadan desert. Now, at the moment, what we have is two fundamental templates. One of them is a jazz bar, so this has some excellent features. One of those features is that you can watch live jazz while also video chatting intimately with a few people. We've also got some interactions with the band, and for basically any kind of live performance where people may want to sit with their friends, this is going to be very useful. Next up, we've got the friendship room. So the friendship room is basically, a repertoire of spaces you can ease in and out of, which allow you to basically achieve intimate conversation. The SparkleVerse we're looking to create is going to require an immense amount of collaboration, just as any burn will require. Just as any burn, we've bitten off way more than we can chew, and it's going to be a complete scramble until the last moment, but the results should be pretty magnificent. I just want to talk through a little bit two of the components of this universe. And the first is the map. The map is currently just like a elaborate clickable web page where you can see on all the bits you click on, all the little parties and rooms and so on, you can see who's partying there. Click on that particular point on the map, let's say it's a yellow submarine, you click, you get a little preview, you see who's there, you see what's going on, a bit of a schedule, and you can dive in. It's basically infinitely extensible. So at the moment, we've been doing parties where different parties can plug into the map. So for instance, the famous distributed dance party, super awesome, can plug into the map, be a little mountain, okay, click, and then you get into that party universe. And that's what's cool about online, of course. You get this kind of fractality. You can have anything plug in from anywhere. And that's part of the magic and the reasons why an online party might be even better than an offline one in certain ways. Okay, so we've got the map layer. We're going to extend the map basically indefinitely. You can have as many locations on the map as we like. And then we're going to add a bit of physics and fun to the map. So you're only going to have one location on the map, of course, and we're going to make you travel around the online playa. It's going to be beautiful. Little video avatar. You're only allowed to go 4 miles an hour. But if you're on a bicycle, you can go 8 miles an hour. Art car, 4 miles an hour. And art cars, of course, can be on the map. And this is just a way of implementing the sort of time-spatial scarcity, which makes the Burning Man so special at each individual moment. The fact that you can't be in 2 places at once. You can't take a call from your boss and say, oh yeah, I'll get you the spreadsheet a bit later or whatever. You're cut off from all the nonsense. And just as a random aside, by the way, we're also looking to have a virtual road trip for Burning Man. You just get into a pretend car, you sit there, video chat with 4 people, 8 hours, you can get off at a service station maybe once or twice, all to basically build context for the burn, build spaciousness in one's consciousness. And so that's the map layer. Second layer worth talking about is the venue layer. So this is all using Sparkle open source software. Venues are created. We've got some components like tables, video chat, this kind of thing. And you just string them together and just create interesting spaces. But basically the thought is a bit of a burst of open source creativity, and we're going to create hundreds of different kinds of online venue which can all plug into our amazing 2D party map within a universe of SparkleVerse, within the broader multiverse of Burning Man, just to try and aim collectively to achieve the just sheer extravagant variety and gloriousness of an online Burning Man, that an online Burning Man demands. Any questions?